Hello, hello. Hello, and I hope you're having a good day. I'm Amanda, the Scraptastic Crocheter, and I wanted to come and hang out for a little bit, so hope you are in the mood to hang out as well. There we go. So, I have finished the big mandala blanket that I was working on. These are the scraps. This is the leftovers. Nothing really. And well, I'm just trying to, trying. Mini Me requested a pink scarf, shawl, neck warmer. She has a pink hat from, did I do that last year for her? Maybe before that. I think it was really big when I made it, so I think that one's still, yeah, it's probably still good for another year or so, because it was a bit too big for her. But she has that pink, and now she wanted pink and purple to match it. So I had to get all my scraps out to see if we could make something out of that. So we got some different pinks. This one actually looks a little bit almost gray in this, but it does look like this when it's not next to all these other colors. So you see with the purple it still also looks gray, with the pink it looks gray. Hello, Katrine! But it is a pink. Maybe more of a dusty rose type of muted pink. But that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, maybe a mauve. Isn't it too light for being a mauve though? I always think mauve is a darker shade. But you might be right on that. Like a light mauve, just never heard of that. Definitely a possibility. How are you doing, Katrine? So I don't know how many times I've done moss stitch in like a diagonal. I've done shawls with moss stitch like this, 2 rows changing color. Yeah, I've done a very similar shawl like this for her dad, and I think that's why she also wanted one, because she saw his. You're doing much better now that you remembered your glasses, though. That's great. Where am I supposed to go? I think that's where my first stitch is. Yes. So yeah, I've been, no, that does not look right. Or no, wait, that was right. It will sort itself out next row. You've never worked moss stitch in C2C? It is very nice, actually. Just need to remember how to do the increases and the decreases. It's pretty simple though. And I'm kind of feeling like I might not have enough yarn for this, so I will maybe have to venture out to the stores and get something. I know I can get this holly yarn, just like a skein or two, in a local store here, because that's what I'm using for this. I'm using this, and I got some Amiga XL, and I want to say this is a Tweed Dreams. This got like really cute flecks in it. This is a premium acrylic, really soft. The Amiga is also really soft, so this is like the least soft, like the cheap. It's really nice though. It's not like a bad acrylic, it's just out of these it's the least soft. But I know I could get more of this, and I know that there's a couple of different shades that might work with this. She said purple and pinks only. I asked, could I add white? Because I have white, and that would probably make this big enough. But I'm not allowed to use white, and I'm not allowed to use gray. So she said red was okay, and I was like, yeah, pink, purples, and red. That's not really a vibe I am okay with. I don't know if that would be something. Like, would you think that would be a good combination? Would you add red to this? I think I have, yeah, I have a box close by. Like I have this red. It don't work for me. Like all these colors, like I can't see a red looking good in this. I don't know. It just, I'm not liking the vibe. If that makes sense. Hot pink is as red as you'd go. Yeah, maybe. Like that would be a stretch too, because these feel very pastel. Most of these colors, they're light. I wish I had like maybe a darker purple, because I had a darker purple, but I used it up, and that purple would actually look really good. But I don't have any more of that purple. But that's one of the things I was thinking. Like if I manage to get to the store, maybe they still have that purple. Because that one's like a purpley, almost pinkish purple. Hello, Jay. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, like a dark purple I think is fine. I don't have a dark pink either, but like, I don't know. Darker flecks of the pink, maybe. But I just don't think that's, that they have anything like that at the store now. I know it's very limited on colors. This brand overall, they usually have like a couple of colors through the season, and then they can drop some colors and they add some new colors, and there's usually like 10 colors in total. There was one period where it felt like they only had like 6 colors, and white and black and gray was 3 of them. So I don't always have, you know, the biggest hopes of finding any nice colors in that. Like I have used this yarn plenty. I've done blankets and stuff in the past. But it's a little bit limited on colors. Oh, I managed to do something down there. Oh well, it is what it is. No, wait, that one's supposed to go there. Maybe that will sort itself out later. Yeah, that will sort it. Okay. It's -1 Fahrenheit. You're avoiding the window so you don't see how cold it is outside. Currently, I'm working on a temperature blanket, so I have my temperatures readily available. But currently, I have 4.8 degrees minus in Celsius. I don't know how that would be for you. Let's shake around and see if Nightbot is awake. Perhaps we can check that. No, I need to type a spell. How about that? Okay, it even says colder. So I have 21. You have a lot colder than I have. That is very clear from those numbers. gonna just tighten this up a little bit. So you had about the same yesterday, 22. That's, yeah, kind of like I have. Minus 18. Well, that's not too bad. I guess it is kind of dependent on what you're used to. But around here it's always a couple of days like that in the winter. Maybe not exactly where I am at. But up north here, it's way colder than that. I want to say that up north here now, it's probably a couple of degrees colder than that as like regular temperature this time of year. It's been a while since I went up north. I have a friend up north that I really want to go and visit, and I've been debating, like, should I visit her in the winter or the summer? Because I know that if I'd go up there during the winter, we'd go out, like, playing in the snow. Snow scooters and stuff. That would be awesome. Yeah, minus 24. That's not a very pleasant temperature. Let's see. I can happily say that it feels like the temperature in my apartment has finally sorted itself out. And it didn't sort itself out. They've been working on it, but all of the work last year and this year looks like it finally paid out. New Hampshire. I want to say that's... Am I right saying that that's on the East Coast, fairly high up? I want to, like, that feels coastal to me, New Hampshire. I might be totally wrong, but that's my guess. I'm in Sweden, so I am not, you know, all into U.S. Geography. That's not something that we're that into in school here. Like, we know basics. And I know a lot of places from learning, well, getting to know people all over these last few years. So I have improved my geography skills. I am far over in the little northern country of Sweden, where we finally have snow. Well, we've had snow for a while, and that's also why I'm sitting here complaining about my foot and a fracture. Oh well, it was about to happen at some point. I've been lucky in not having any fractures earlier in my life, so at some point it was bound to happen. Northeast. Okay, so I feel my guess was right. So I have, I want to say, maybe 2 hours now, I think. Less than, to hang out before my mini-me comes home from daycare. I am very lucky that I can get her to daycare a couple of times a week when it's my weeks, because her dad has agreed to help me get her out of the house. She needs to be at daycare. I can't get her there, and when he has the opportunity to help, he's doing that. You know more about the US geography than we do about Sweden. Well, you might learn some hanging out with me. I do talk about stuff, very random stuff, so maybe not just geography, but Swedish weird stuff overall, right? We've talked about smörgåstårta, we've talked about plenty of weird things, Swedish traditions, Donald Duck on Christmas, everything. So just hanging out here and you'll learn something. Maybe. Maybe it's stuff worth learning. I don't know. I'm just very random and all over the place. But yeah, as I said, Mini-Me is burning some energy at daycare today. Oh, which I'm very happy about. That means I can just relax today. She has been very nice at just letting me rest these days. Quano, how are you doing? Good to see you. I'm very surprised to see you here. I'm so used to seeing you in Marcus's chat on Saturday evenings misbehaving. So it's midday. Are you awake? I did not know. You enjoy learning new stuff. Well, I'm kind of enjoying teaching, or at least sharing. I'm not that good of a teacher. Where was I? I don't know. Mini-Me at daycare. Yeah. So she'll be home in a while. But I'm really happy that I don't have to try and get her to and from daycare, because I have only left the apartment once, and that was Friday. Well, today is actually, is it 2 weeks ago now since I hurt my foot on the day? Yeah, and I think I was out Friday because I had to get to an appointment. Yeah, I have come to the realization that I am not happy about the fact that I feel so dependent on other people right now. And so it came to, I've already had this thought before, but this was kind of like the final nail in the coffin. My birthday wish list, what I want for my birthday is another freezer, because I only have a half and half. It's a freezer and a fridge, and I don't really fit a lot of food in there because it's not that big. And you know, with kids there's ice cream and stuff that just, you need to have stuff available sometimes. So I felt like I need a standalone little freezer so that I don't have to end up in this situation again, that if I can't leave my apartment for 2 weeks, I'm not gonna starve. Also, if I get some good deals at the store now, at the moment, I'm like, no, I can't get that because I have nowhere to put it. So that has been a little bit frustrating and annoying, because, you know, bargain hunting is good, especially with food and food prices, right? So, your evil twin. You are the innocent one. Oh, good to know. Your mind rebelled at the thought of Quano and Innocent in the same thought. Well, yeah, you have seen him around in his, during prime time. Deep freezers are worth the investment. Yeah. So that's on my birthday wish list. And I'm just, yeah, that needs to happen. So I don't have to like think that much anymore about planning my grocery shopping as much. I don't need a big one. I just need something that is bigger than what I've got. But I think it's a fairly simple thing that does a lot, especially, you know, you don't plan for accidents. You don't plan to not leave the house in weeks. having people help out with like simple grocery shopping, like getting some milk and bread and some veggies or fruits, that's fine for a while, you know. But there comes a day where like, oh well, I need some bigger grocery hauls, and can't really put that on other people. Also, you know, walking around in the grocery store can be very entertaining. People watching. So I miss that too. I don't really have that many neighbors I can spy on. Even though I do tend to look at the windows and see what my neighbors are doing. And I live in a fairly quiet little area, so not a lot is actually happening when it's cold and winter. More happens when it's summer and people are out and about. So there's a lack of entertainment. I do have YouTube, I do have Netflix and some audiobooks. I fell down the rabbit hole of audiobooks again because I couldn't find anything interesting on YouTube one day, and I was like, let's do something else then. Elizabeth Aaron, good morning. Good to see you. How are you doing today? So you guys have morning coffee, or is it later for you? Quano, it's lunchtime. Did you have anything to eat? I was lucky to have some ready meals in the freezer now. One of the things with not wanting to stand on my foot for long, I don't really want to cook. And there was a little bit of wiggle room in my freezer since I have been eating a lot out of it. So there was some just ready meals that ended up in my freezer. So I had broccoli and cheese pie, which I really like. Or cheese and broccoli pie. Yummy. Very simple. But it's just me, myself, and I home alone for the moment. And you guys. But I didn't want to eat with you guys. I'm sorry. Not to be rude, but we're here to crochet. I'm not sitting doing mukbangs. A breakfast pastry. That sounds fancy. That sounds like something for like a hotel or Saturday. Pastries for breakfast. But I'm still myself. I'm bougie. Coca-Cola in a wine glass. Yes. That didn't change. You're munching your way through a big pack of sausage rolls. Do you eat them cold or warm? I've never had a sausage roll, and I have been watching a YouTube channel for quite some time called Jet Lag, and they do some really fun challenges on this Jet Lag channel. They travel the world and play like hide and seek in different countries. They do like playing games of tags all across the world, and at the moment they've been playing hide and seek in the UK. And I actually watched the next to last episode last night. And one of them went to Greg's and tried a sausage roll, because apparently that's the thing you need to try. You need to go to Greg's and eat a sausage roll. And these guys, they are Americans, but I'm not sure that made a difference really. He was not impressed by the Greg's sausage roll. He did, however, like they had some type of, they called it cake, but it looked like a donut. He liked that one. Okay, so coffee in a little bit. Puffed pastry with eggs, cheese, and sausage. Oh, I have this purple. I do have a little bit left of this purple. We got this pink and we got this. I want to say this and this is the same color. That's what we have to play with. I did already use up a pink that's the same like that one with the Tweety bits. I felt like that was a good start because this is going to be more visible. And there's no rhyme or reason to my color changes, other than, well, I used this brighter pink up first, and then I've just been changing when I feel like it. So I did save a little bit of that. I was thinking, should I use all of it? But that's what we have in this section here. But I think since it is a little fancier, I'm saving it for a bit. Ooh, avocado. It's been a while since I had avocado. We don't really get good avocados here anymore. I don't know why, but it's just, they have to travel pretty far to get here. So I think that's a bit, yeah, I don't know. The avocados has been bad. So I've kind of even stopped buying them. It wasn't worth it. You eat them cold like little snacks. 20 of them. You have the goal of the life goal of becoming a fatty. Well, to some that is a life goal. Some have to work harder than others, and some want to work the other way around. There's always something, right? You're never all like just happy. You don't like your curly hair. You don't like your straight hair. Like, you always want what you don't have. Why is everyone like that? Maybe not everyone, but that just feels like it's a running theme for a lot of people. You'd put the Tweety purple bit on the other end? Yeah, probably. Need to figure out how far this runs though, because I feel like I have a lot of this light pink, but I don't think it's, I don't need that much of the, like, I have all of this as well, and yeah, I'll need more yarn for this to be a fairly decent length. I don't want it to be too short. Your avocado seeds finally sprouted. Well, you might even get fruits on them. I've seen people grow avocados like from seeds here, but I've never seen them actually get any fruits. Only a really nice looking plant, but no actual fruits. I don't think the climate here is good enough for that. Colache? Is that how you'd pronounce that? Or did I felt like I pronounced that a little Mexican accent-ish. Colache. So, you guys, I finished the Ardith for Mini-Me. I started it, what, the 17th? And said that I have until the 20th of February, that's her birthday. And I already finished it. It's here, peeking around the corner. I'm just gonna move these to the side for a bit. Let's take a look at this beauty, because why not? We need to. So I have it folded up now. But we have this bright yellow, and I did use 2 different colorways of the mandala cakes. One is here and the other one is here. So we have giant of this bonus bundle, and no, that's the other one. That was another mandala sparkle. Where's is it this one? Oh, I have too much stuff. I need to clean out. And then Niffler. So 2 different rainbows that I cut down. So we have 1 shade of yellow to here, another shade of yellow to here, a little bit of different shade, another shade, and then we get like this very pastel-y orange or apricot. We get pinks, and over to purples and blues and greens, and then this very bright green that is the center of, yeah, it's the center of the Niffler. that I didn't want to put in the center. So it ended up on the outside. But you guys, is this not really gorgeous? How the colors ended up on this. I am so happy. I'm so very pleased of this. Mini Amanda will be so happy. I hope so. She did think that it was a little big at one point where she was looking at it, but to me it was small at that point. I think I was at the purples and she saw that was fine. She didn't want the other colors, but I was like, it needs the other colors. And now when the other colors are there, it just makes sense. 'Cause yeah, it could just like go around with this green with the yellow. It's like it could loop around. But I have ridiculously low amounts of yarn left. This is my leftovers. I kind of was yarn chickening it for a bit. I ended up doing, because I didn't get the next to last row. It's actually, well, it is this green before the brightest green, and I was like, I need this bright green all the way around. But I also had to use the bright green here. See, we have a color change mid next to last row where I did get the bright green. And I was like, we need the bright green. So I did a slip stitch back loop only all the way around with the bright green. Because I was like, I'm not going to have more yarn than that. And I can't get more. So maybe I could have done it differently. I did half double crochets on the next to last row. Because it felt like I did single crochets for 2 rows. And then I was like, well, let's do half doubles just so we don't have only single crochets. And I did have a thought of doing crab stitch all the way around. But I ended up doing this slip stitch in the back loop just because I didn't think I would have enough yarn. Otherwise, if I had more yarn, I would probably have done crab stitch. I had 1 mandala bonus bundle and I had 2 Niffler. So it would be equivalent, as far as I could tell, 4 of a regular cake, because this is like a double, so that's like 2 cakes and then 2 of that, so 4 in total. And I have no measurements of this as of yet. I just finished this and sewed in ends in I don't know, a few hours ago. But that's all I used. And I did totally color control the order of the cakes, but I did not cut other than this, where I got to the end of a row and this was what I had left. And I didn't feel like starting the next row and do like a couple of stitches and then have to join the next yarn or the next color. So I did cut these out just for the convenience of it. It just didn't feel like this was enough to start a row with, because yeah, not enough. And then this is the last row. I'm really happy about how it turned out, for sure. I had no idea what to use these yarns for, and looking at it now, I don't think I could have done anything better, to be honest. I'm really happy about the idea of combining those 4, or the 2 colorways, and doing a little bit of a larger project than if I'd done 2 separate projects. That would have been smaller. So yeah, that definitely, I'm really happy about the result of this. And there could have been if I had more yarn, the rows that I was supposed to do here, because I had to wing it this last part. But what would have been here would have been a row of puff stitches, because we do have these puff stitch rounds, and next thing would have been a puff stitch round. It would have looked awesome. I'm not saying that it wouldn't. I just don't like puff stitches, and I didn't have enough yarn. So sorry, not sorry that I ran out of yarn instead of doing puff stitches. It would have looked awesome with puff stitches in a green. We have yellow, red, and blue, and then we would have had green puff stitches. Like, I admit, it would have been really nice. But I ran out of yarn, unfortunately. Or not. Me and puff stitches, not the, no. And how about, while we're doing a little show and tell, look at what we have up until actually today in temperature blanket world. This is what we have so far, you guys. This is temperature blanket as of today, because I realized today is going to be a cold day, and yesterday was a cold day, so it wasn't it was a no-brainer to actually do this without seeing what the rest of the day's temperature would have been like, because it's a cold day today. So we finally got a little bit more of this blue that we got some pops in there, and now we have some more, and these are actually popcorns. So we got this really nice, you can see how they are popping out. Really nice texture. Oh, this is a nice, like, seeing the waves of this little bubbly, and then the popcorns behind it. That's looking so really fun. Yeah. Just a few more rows for this month, and then I'll be finishing the square off. I'm not really sure exactly how I'll be joining the squares and such. I know I will be doing it with this color, and this is also gonna be on some months some extra rows out of this because of the amount of days. You know, the February especially. February's will be having actually these popcorns in this this color, so that's gonna be fun. We've had a couple of days in a row. We see same color a couple of days, and then we had the same days with this one, and then we have a couple of more days with the same in a few days in a row. So we've had like 2 or 3 days minimum of each color. Yeah, 2 days of this one, 2 days of that one, 3 days of that one, 3 days of that one, 4 days of that one. Yeah, it's been very... no, this is... We can look at stats on this. We have Friends Wheel. And Friends Wheel is... Here, we got 55% cotton, 45% acrylic. It's a 2 fine weight, 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, 400 meters, that's 437 yards. I'm using a 3.25 hook because that's my go-to. But they do recommend 4 to 4.5 millimeter on this one. I don't like going on like larger hooks with this yarn. I really like to have stitch definition. If I'm doing something very drapey, that's one thing. I'm also very loose in my tension, but can you see the drape in this? Like, you could definitely wear this, and it's full of texture, but it's also really nice drape. So even with the small hook, I'm not getting too tight of a fabric. How am I deciding to do the stitches? Yeah, purple will be joining color and makeup for shorter months, exactly. So the stitches, I'm actually following a pattern called the Thingamabob, which is by the same designer that designed this blanket, which is Ardith Big Girl. So they're all hooked on sunshine patterns, and I do have, I have another Thingamabob. I actually did Thingamabob as a baby blanket, and you have seen it, Katrine. You might not remember or recognize it until you see it, but this is my previous Thingamabob. So this is out of 1 cake of Twister, which is the same thickness yarn as what I'm doing, and this is the exact same pattern, but we have a slow gradient cake, and then I did these accent detail bits with the outer color of the cake. So we have that coming through. This is surface slip stitches, and I'm not doing the surface slip stitches for this one, just because I need to get to a certain point to join them anyway, and that would be a day, but it would take away from the size, so I'd have to use more of the border color. You thought the center looked familiar. Well, it is, but look at how different they look. It's the same pattern and just very different how they look in different colors, or like different, yeah, like gradient versus multicolored. Some things are really popping through and some things are kind of hidden in a way. You do see the texture a bit different here, like you can see some more details and some of it disappears. Like here it's kind of, I don't know, it feels like some of it is disappearing because there's so much happening on the sides of it. The color change makes a huge difference in the effect. Yes. Thank you, Elizabeth. So that's how we're doing this. This is what we have this year with my first ever temperature blanket. And this is almost the full January square. So as you can see, we have on this square here, there is like this ridge, if you can tell that there's like a post stitch ridge. I don't think that's gonna happen because I don't know how I would join two squares with a back post ridge, having it look good together. But it's in this area somewhere that we will be joining the two squares together. So we're not getting this section of the pattern at all. That's, yeah, we're not going to be able to do like that full, because the repeat of this pattern is all of this, like this little flower bed situation, and these, well, you see them better here, and this clustered section other than the center. So we're just getting the center and we're getting the flower part for each month. But I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't feel like we need bigger squares. I know it's going to be a smaller blanket since I'm using a thin yarn. But hey, we're going to have 12 of these squares. So we're going to have another 2 side by side, and then, well, it's going to be a 3 by 4. So I think it's going to be a fairly decent size. It's got to be pretty, and I'm not going to have to worry too much about where to store it because it's not going to take that much space. It's not going to be too heavy. So there's that update on temperature blankets and the Ardith. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting because I've done a lot of these square blankets starting from the center and working my way out, doing the repeats and such, but I don't do a lot of like different squares and put them together. So that's the new part for that one. But also, like, hey, it's a year-long project. Am I going to be able to keep it going? Will I get bored in March? We'll see. Nice lap blanket? Yeah. I'm hoping we're getting a fairly okay size at least. Feels like it's going to be bigger than a baby blanket, so can't really say that that's what we're aiming for either. So what are you guys doing? Do you have any fun plans for today? I have never felt the urge so bad that to clean that I'm doing now. I'm really wish I could. Kind of feel like I'd need to, but that's for another day. And I'm kind of feeling like we should be expecting some volcano action soon, but it's nothing's happening. The Icelandic, like there's a lot of activity on Iceland earthquake-wise, but not where we'd expect it. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm waiting a little bit for that to happen for the next eruption before I pick up the lava poncho again. Kind of feels like that one's just hanging out until the next eruption. But I have some to do on that one. So you'll probably be seeing that soon again. The scarf is different shades of pinks and purples. Mini-Me's request. So I got all my pinks and purple scraps and such out to make that for her. So there's a few different pinkish, got a darker pink, and this, we said that it was like a light mauve type of color. It does look gray next to some of the other pinks. We got lighter pink, a darker purple. Yeah, Iceland is always full of volcanic activity. Iceland is made out of volcanoes, just like Hawaii. I just have a little bit of a, like, Iceland and Sweden is not that far away. It is far away, but it's like the closest. And it kind of feel closer here just because it's like the Scandinavian and Nordic countries, like we kind of Viking land, right? I don't know why the volcanoes on the other sides of the world is just not as exciting to me as the Icelandic ones. So I'm just waiting for something happening over there. Looks like close to being finished. This one, no, it's still very short. It needs to be able to wrap around a couple of times, I think. And I don't know how far I'm gonna get with the yarn. But how are you doing, Stina? Good to see you. Iceland is very much a country of fire and ice. Glaciers, ice, up north, volcanoes, geothermal, hot springs. Just looks like, I don't know, a fairy tale. I want to go to Iceland. They have a lot of sheep. And they are really good at woolly stuff up there. So even though I can't play around much with their yarn, I'd still love to go there. Oh, the angle made it look like it was almost finished. Yeah, I wish. Now I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I'm happy to use up some scraps and make Mini-Me happy. She wanted one. But I think I might have to go and get some more, possibly another purple of some color. Because I'll be, well, I have a lot more pink than I have purple, so. Might need another color. She said red was okay, and I said no. I was showing that earlier. She said this was okay. Would you add this red to these like purple and pinks? Or is it just me? I asked her, like, could I add white? Could I add gray? No. But I can add this red. No, thank you. Oh, you have a great day at work, Stina. Some tea or coffee and work. Sounds like a pretty okay day. Yeah, I'm not liking it at all. I could definitely go for like a darker purple or a darker pink, but not the red. I have plenty of white, so I could have added that, but she said no to that. Otherwise, I would have been fine adding white into this. Because I think that would have been a great filler. You would love to see northern lights in person. We have plenty of northern lights in Sweden too. We're also very high up north. I don't see northern lights very often due to the fact that I'm in a city and it's too much of light pollution. You can't really see. You need like to be out in the in the middle of nowhere often to see it. You can a lot easier get some good northern lights on camera though. It might not be visible to the eye, but you definitely see it better on camera most of the time. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Need to figure out what to make for dinner today. Mini-me would probably be really happy if I just made chicken nuggets. I'm not in the mood for nuggets. I do have nuggets though. It's fairly simple, but kind of gets boring. You finished the row you had to frog. Awesome. Back on track. And you did it without mistakes this time, so you don't have to frog it again, I hope. Because that would be sad. Frog a row to fix a mistake and then redo the same mistake. That would be a bummer. I don't think I've done that, but I definitely could see myself possibly doing that at some point. There are a few mistakes in the Ardith that I made here for Mini-me, but I couldn't be bothered. I worked around it. It works out. I added a stitch here. I did this, yeah, there's a chain space that I was supposed to chain 2 and I chained 4. It's not making any difference. They just get to stay. Stitch count came out perfectly this time. Awesome. That is what we wanted to see. So I have been thinking about prep for my birthday stream on the 4th. I haven't figured out what times or anything yet. I just know that I want to stream as much as I can on my birthday because that's how I want to celebrate my birthday. I am aware that Mini-me is probably gonna want to do something for that. She is with her dad that week, but I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to have dinner or something for that day. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe that's something that will happen, or I'm just gonna schedule a dinner another day with them. But birthday is a big thing when you're a kid, so she might push for seeing me that day specifically. And if that happens, then I'll just start later. If not, I'll be just probably streaming half the day. I don't know. I'm planning for a long one because that would be an ideal birthday celebration for me. You've had ice and everything's closed schools and they can't clear out roads because ice is not common in North Texas. You've been emptying your freezer and cooking what you've had on hand. Yeah, that's exactly why I need a freezer. So I broke my foot 2 weeks ago, and I am very dependent on other people like grocery shopping and stuff for me. And so my wish list for my birthday, yeah, I need a freezer. So that's, or like a bigger freezer. I only have like a fridge freezer combo with, it's basically just 3 small drawers. That's the freezer. But without help shopping, I would have had a very boring cooking time. I'll tell you that much. So a freezer is my my birthday wish list. Even though that's probably like not what you'd expect, because I've had like last year, like I want more yarn. I love yarn for my birthday. And now like, yeah, no, I can't wish for yarn this year. I had a few years ago. I wanted a dryer. I've had so many practical things on my wish list for Christmases and birthdays throughout the years. Cast iron pan, Le Creuset, big like Dutch oven pot thingamabob. Very practical stuff. A dishwasher. I got a dishwasher for my 30th birthday. So years where I've been like, oh, I want yarn for my birthday. That's me spoiling myself. Other than that, it's like, yeah, practical stuff. And this is one of those years where I actually need something, so then I get to wish for it. Driving to work was terrifying. Yeah, I can imagine. I've been watching a little bit of, what's his name, Ryan Hall, and seeing how the storms have been moving around for you guys. I'm happy you guys are safe though. Yeah, is it the same color? It is. Is it the same color? I want to say it's the same color. So I could continue this and then just join with that. Okay. Let's do that. Otherwise I'd just cut the pink, but I think it's the same color, so. Your Le Creuset is too heavy for you. Your sons don't want it because you have all flame color. I don't know what the color is called, but I have a very red set. I have a big oval shaped the pot, and then I have like oven dishes that is also red. A big and a small. Very practical stuff though. I really like it. I use it a lot. It has mostly been used to make meat sauce I want to say these last few months, because that's something mini-me wants pretty much like once a week. So pasta and meat sauce, and that one is very large and big enough to get a big batch going at once, so we have some leftovers for a couple of days, which is handy. You don't have to cook every day when you got leftovers. Yeah, you don't really have anything but summer tires, do you? Or do you have like, because we have studded tires, that's winter tires, but we also got these, they call them all round tires or all year round. That is not as slick as summer tires. They're a little bit more, I guess, textured, or so it's like winter tires without studs. You haven't left the house since last Thursday, so you've been home for a week. So you and I feel about the same then. But I have been home since, well, I've been home 2 weeks, but I did get out Friday because I had an appointment. And then I've been home, resting my foot. Your friends and family used to joke about your cookware wish list. And then they learned it means you'll cook. And then they stopped laughing at it, and they're like, what other cooking stuff do you need? What do you need for your kitchen? And when's your next feast? When should we come over? We have tires. No one even bothers assigning a season. We have laws stating that we need to switch tires at either when in the fall, we are allowed to change tires is it October or November, to the winter tires if the weather is stating that we should. And after 1st of December, it's mandatory to have winter tires. That's the law. 1st of December, the winter tires needs to get on, or you could get fined and stuff for having the wrong tires. And then we have to switch back to the summer tires in the spring, March, April. I think it's or at least it used to be like $160 for driving with the wrong set of tires. But yeah, you don't run and switch tires depending on like the weather. Like when you switch, you've switched, because you never know. This time of year, it could snow, it could melt, it can snow again. Susan, hello, how are you doing today? Good to see you. You got some morning coffee? Yeah, you have to go to work, taking care of other people. They're depending on you for sure. They started building cookout tables, exactly, to fit all the food. So what if people live in a small apartment where do they store tires? Well, we all have, like, our apartment here. I live in an apartment. I do have a storage unit in the apartment. Like, I have one in the basement. So most apartments come with some type of storage, but there's also the option of there's like a whole, I guess, a whole type of system built around it, that a lot of places that pretty much only work with tires, because we have tire stores, tire workshops, they switch his tires, they mend tires. Of course, they do other like car work, maintenance stuff, but they mostly do tire stuff. They also have the service of they can store your tires for you. So you just pay a little fee. They store your tires, and then they message you saying, hey, we booked a time that is in the period of where you're supposed to switch your tires. So you already have that pre-booked. So you just roll up there and they switch your tires, and they store your other tires, they clean them, they rebalance them. Like there's a whole like system around that. I used to use that service when I had a car, just because of the convenience. I don't have to change my tires myself. I don't have to worry about storing them. They're already in the space, or in the place where I'd go to get them swapped anyway. So it's very convenient, like that. And it's a smart thing to do business with, in a country that has, you know, by law you need to switch your tires twice a year if you want to drive it. The tire industry, yes. The entire tire industry now. So in my storage right now, my storage is in the basement. I do have all my like garden stuff. I don't have a garden anymore, but like all the garden tools, I still have that since moving into the apartment. Like everything of that is down there. Bicycles. This time of year we have all the snow stuff up here, like you know, snow toys, sleds, and, you know, playing in the snow, going down slopes. If we had skis, they would have been there during the summer, but now stuff like that is in the apartment. Some extra chairs. Christmas decorations. So yeah, that just comes with living in apartments in Sweden. And there's some places to store stuff. If you don't have a storage unit in like a basement or in the attic, there's usually something in the apartment, like a space specifically for storage. And that would not be calculated as an including of the square meterage of the apartment. Like storage isn't not counted towards that, so that does, yeah, it's often when we're talking about rent, it's the apartment size, and storage is excluded from that, no matter where the storage is at. I kind of think it's handy though to have the storage in the apartment and don't have to go down to the basement and stuff, but where I'm living now, that's the option I have. Like my mom's apartment, she lives in a building where she has both basement storage unit as well as attic storage unit. So there's places like that even. Like the house she's in, it's, I don't know exactly when it's built, but I've lived in a similar type of apartment before where the basement storage used to be like a food cellar more than storage. It just became less popular. You'd store like potatoes and onions and grains, things that were kind of long lasting. You could definitely put canned, pickled stuff down there. It just, yeah, we don't live like that anymore, really, where you'd have so much. like seasoned, I guess if you can all your apples or something, you'd have a lot to make applesauce. And maybe it's more of a homesteading thing, or I don't know. Do you guys do that? Demetra, good morning. How are you doing? I'm just rambling away around storage and food storage. Kind of looping back to what I was talking about earlier with my own little problem here, not being able to leave the house for a few weeks and coming to the realization that I need a freezer so that I can have more food stored in my apartment. Staying in bed, too cold to do anything. So you're also in the area of bad weather, storms. You'd love to have a root cellar. Most folks don't do canning anymore. Yeah, exactly. Like you can just go to the store and pick up pickles or pickled beets. I love pickled beets. But you don't have to do it yourself anymore. It's just you get one jar, and then when it runs out, you go to the store and get a new one. My dad has a root cellar. That is also his pump house for the water. So yeah, it's a pump cellar and root cellar. His girlfriend likes to do well, she does something that in Sweden is called saft, which is like a boiled berry juice. Very sweet boiled berry juice concentrate, and then you mix it with water. It's often like strawberries, raspberries, black currants are very common. Can you call it, like, would you say it's a berry juice? Maybe not. It's kind of more like a syrup, runny syrup, and then you mix it with water. But that's very common here. That's like the people that does it, they do bottles of it. So I have a bottle from this year's black currant and was it black currant and something, or was it just black currant? Either way, it's yummy. But since they do that in bulk, they have a bunch of berry bushes. She likes to store those bottles in there. So pretty much the main thing that gets stored in my dad's root cellar, that and beer, because then he has some cold beer stored. You got a lot of snow? That's awesome. Cozy. Crochet and coffee or tea or hot chocolate and just cozy in the snow. Or inside. Maybe a fireplace too. Your cousin married a Norwegian man and she's been there for 30 years. She has heated floors and special window covering to help them sleep when it's light in the... Yeah, well, we have blinds too for... I don't really use them anymore. Where I lived previously, we had blackout curtains. But since I moved to this apartment, I barely even bother to switch the blinds when I go to bed. I am not so bothered by the light. You do canning? Beets, jelly, maple syrup, sauerkraut? Do you grow your veggies too? That you can, or do you just buy the produce in bulk or something? Good deal with the local farmer, perhaps? You do fruit syrups for drinks too? Are we talking adulty drinks? I am in Sweden, so not far away. It would take me, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 hours to the closest border crossing, I think. But yeah, I'm very close. And Rita, I don't know if you've come across her. Lena's design, Rita. She lives in the next town over from where I'm at, but she's Norwegian. We get to hang out from time to time. It's been too long since I went to visit them, but you know, I don't want to go there when I have kid germs at home and stuff, so we need to take precautions. With her old mom, I don't want to bring bugs over there, you know. And when I've been good, they have been sick, and now I can't go anywhere. So I really need to go there soon, though. It's been too late. Okay, is it time for a color change? I don't know what I'd change to. I don't want it to be too, like, blocky. Maybe we should go for this, that color combo again. Yeah, we had that over there. Let's do that and save some purple for in a bit. Oh, right, jams is definitely something you could store in a root cellar too. You make strawberry jam, no canning. Okay, where did that's the one I want. We're going for pink and pink, or pink and pastel mauve. I didn't even know that that was a color. You couldn't let your grandmother's old juicer go to waste. The adult beverages are the meads and the mellowmells. I do not know if I pronounced that wrong or right. Mellowmells? I don't know what that is. I need explanations. You do a bit of gardening, but not enough to can. You buy in bulk when it's in season and you can. Well, that makes sense, though. You have a lot of farmers market around where you're at? Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of that. They look so cool. We don't have that here. Fruity meats. Okay. Your niece was offered a postdoctoral position in Oslo. She leaves end of February, so you may go visit her sometime. Ooh. Well, I do recommend you come in the summer. A lot of, you know, first-time visits to this part of the world. I do recommend summer, unless you know that you like snow and what you're getting yourself into, because that could be a bit of a shock, the snow. Then again, Oslo, probably not the snowiest of places. So yeah, maybe you don't really have to worry that much. Now my pillow fell down from my foot hammock. It happens from time to time. I've just put a pillow on top of my footrest, and I need to readjust it, because kind of made my foot fall down. Ladybird! Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing? You got some tea going over there? How's the weather over with you? We've been talking about the bad weather in, well, I don't know, is it the whole US? No, it's not as much over on the west side. It's more like, is it south and the eastern parts, as far as I could tell? Or what I got the, what I've gotten a feel of looking at the maps, but I don't know, like I've only looked a little bit at Ryan Hall's live streams, and I only saw what was like there at the moment, so I don't know how it has moved around. Oh, Jay is still here. Are you being comfy in the scrap basket lurking? Half a mile from a bee farm. So brewing mead is not too expensive. Well, not if you're using honey for the mead. And you can get a good price. The north was hit harder than those in the south. You're just not used to dealing with it. Well, and that. You're working on a new sock pattern you just found. Oh, nice. Nice. So I have, I actually just got aware of this yesterday. And I figured it might be, I don't know, interesting to some of you. But my mom sent me a pattern yesterday. And I want to say it was called Melt the Ice. And it's a hat. Have you guys heard of this? Because I did not know that this is apparently a thing right now. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to drop it in the chat so you guys can go check it out. There's also apparently a knit version of this pattern. But due to all the things going on with the ice raids, so this is kind of like a little statement against it, to go and make yourself a red hat. And it's starting to become a thing. So I just, if you're not aware, since I wasn't aware, I just got aware of this yesterday. I figured I'd share. Maybe some of you might want to make one for yourself or others. And well, it's already a thing. I'm just helping to spread the word. I was looking at it, and unfortunately I don't think I have enough yarn to make anything like that at the moment, so that would require yarn shopping, and not something I'm planning to do right this minute. We'll possibly get more purple for this one, but we haven't seen that happen either. So Ladybird used to go by Lisa. 18 inches at your house of snow from the storm. That's a lot of snow. You have to get up and put more wood in the stove. Well, you got some nice cozy fires to keep you company, so that's not a bad thing. Definitely not your kind of thing. The snow or the pattern? You've made several hats. You're out of red yarn. Your January yarn budget is spent. Yeah, the pattern's not your kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those, the shape of the pattern or the hat, but it's cute. Like, I can see that being a cute hat on a kid. It doesn't feel very adulty to wear a hat in that shape. It kind of reminds me of the hats I used to wear as a child. I don't know if it was my mom or my grandma that made them, or maybe both. They were made with a little green kind of twig-ish looking tip up top, and it was supposed, and then there was like seeds on them to look like blueberries and strawberries. It kind of has the same type of vibe in a way. So I think you can use the same type of pattern to do one of those berry hats that I used to have as a kid. You had only a ½ inch of snow and 6 inches of frozen rain. Yuck. I am working on a scarf. It's a moss stitch corner to corner in my purple and pink scraps for my mini-me. She requested something similar to what I made for her dad. I did a scarf for him a couple of years back. And I also did that in moss stitch, but that was in a petrol blue-ish color, and I think the other color was called cognac, which is like a orangey brown. They really look good together, those two colors, but I did that in a moss stitch corner to corner. So now I got all the scraps out of pinks and purples to do one for her so she could match her dad. It's modeled after a hat that was made for a World War II protest. Yeah, I did learn a little bit of the history about that yesterday. You don't do any political related with crochet. It's your escape from the news and doom scrolling. Totally get it. Totally, for sure. Like the whole protest and all of that. Like, I'm in Sweden. I'm not affected the same way you guys are. I just thought that this was a like the pattern just came across to me yesterday, and I was not aware of this. Maybe because I'm just, well, not in the US. And I bet some else might not have heard of it. So figured it was interesting to me. It's crochet related. Whether I'm gonna make one or not, I don't know. It didn't look like the most fun pattern to make, so maybe not for that reason. But I do like the idea of crocheters and knitters as well, like coming together and protesting, not specifically for this reason, but just that we're doing it as like a joint thing. I think that's a cute thing, if that makes sense. That like we do it our way. So since there's some new people that has popped in, I just want to look at this one again because I finished it. This is a lot more fun to talk about. Do you see this rainbow? It's awesome. I also need to drink, so I needed to, you can look at something else while my hands are busy holding my glass instead. But I did this a lot faster than I expected. Then again, I haven't done much else than working on this for 12 days. I think it was the 17th when I started it. I was doing that live, bouncing ideas off of you guys, and then we started this Ardith for my mini-me. 4 cakes in total of mandala in 2 colorways, and now we have an awesome rainbow Ardith. It's folded up, you can't see it all, but this is a full circle, and the blanket itself is square. So I just folded it up so that you at least can see all the colors. And here's the center. I have not measured it, and I figured that I will probably get some pictures up of this in its full glory on the community tab, maybe possibly later today if I'm able to do that. because I feel like I've been better at getting stuff on the community tab, you guys. I've been putting, I did, you know, post some pictures of the temperature blanket, a little bit of progress on that. This is today's or up till today. So we're almost done in January. But I've been better at that, so I'm thinking that I should be able to get a picture up of this. I'm also getting better at actually taking pictures. I think that's a big thing. I even got like a thumbnail made for this and the previous stream with this blanket. I haven't taken that much time to do that lately either, but now I did. So you needed a bleep cancer hat without the asterisk. Very satisfying, quick project. I need to do something. I need to think about this. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I do have another family member that recently got diagnosed with cancer again. And when I have had previous family members getting that type of diagnosis, I've done blankets and shawls to keep them warm through chemo and such. So that is very close to a project that needs to start. I need to do another project for this person. They did have some type of I don't know what to call them, cyst. No, but like something, a tumor is the word, removed in one of their breasts. I don't know, 5 years ago maybe. And went through treatment for that, and that was not an aggressive one. The other word, not aggressive, the kind. But this time around, this one is aggressive, and surgery happened pretty much 2 weeks after the diagnosis came in to remove the tumor. There will be radiation, there will be chemo. So I really feel like I need to do something benign. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. People cozy are always good comfort items. Exactly. The only, I can't say it's a downside. It's not a downside. But this person is also a crocheter. So I feel like I have to step it up a little extra, if that makes sense. So I really need to think through yarn choices and patterns for this. But it is tricky because I don't know what colors to go for. I don't know anything really. So, yeah. But you guys seeing this in front of you, you know I'm gonna do something intricate. We're getting a blanket this style-ish. We're going down, maybe even getting one of the other patterns that I don't have. We did this one. I started that because it was a pattern I purchased in a bulk pattern purchase. I had no plan on doing this, and I also didn't do it all. There's more of this pattern. We just worked until we ran out of yarn. So maybe I need to do this in its full glory at some point, or something totally different. You feel that you're always more flashy when working on something for a fellow crafter. Well, you kind of feel like you need to step it up. Or at least that's a me feeling. You might not agree. But I feel like if I'm doing something for someone that also know all the work behind it, yeah. I also feel like there's a different level of appreciation because they know what it takes in a way. You make something very bold and bright. Yes, we need to do colorful. Colorful makes happy. Like, I wouldn't mind something like this. I just need to venture down totally different way of getting yarn. Like, this is not a yarn that I could get. I was just lucky to be gifted this by Rita, and not knowing what to do with it, it turned out beautiful. Yes. I have done plenty of things for people that don't appreciate crocheted items. That's for sure. I did a blanket for another family member that is no longer with us. And even though it was a man, his blanket was a mix of my favorite colorway of... Maybe can I reach those? Let's see if I can reach the yarns I used. Or like the colorways. And I cannot find... Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, there it is. So I made a blanket combining this with this. Because there's some of this color in here. So there, I have made a blanket with those two colors. Like this was the main color and this was like the accent color for another blanket with the same designer. So I did have like where we have these like back post ridges that I had, like those were extra visible because I used one for the one side and one for the other side, so you really saw where those borders ended up. So for this blanket, for example, like how I would do if I do something similar with this, I could definitely see one color like this one being the section here with a ridge, puff stitches and ridge, and the rest being the other color. And then here we'd have the ridge, so there would be a little bit of the pink, and then this section would be the pink, or something similar. I'm not saying I will go for these two colors again, because I've already done that, so I don't feel like we need to do it again. But I really love this colorway. Like, this is one of the best colorways. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, I need to think about that. Like here you can see how you see the ridge extra with the color coming through. Here in particular, it's very visible from the pinks to the purple how that's getting extra boosted. There's a little bit of a difference. But that's something that happens with when you do back post and front post like that. This is Cookie. Cookie yarn by Järbo. You can find this at Hobby. And it's called Limelight. But you can also find the exact same colorway in Sirdar Jewel Spun. Don't remember the name. It is caked up differently. Sirdar Jewel Spun comes in donuts. And you can also find it in Red Heart Roll With It Melange. Same yarn, same specs, different amount in each skein comparison. So this Cookie yarn, they are caked up really big. Like there's 200 grams, 600 meters in these. And the Red Heart Roll With It Melange are smaller, and Sirdar Jewel Spun is even smaller than that. But I'd say it's the same yarn, exact same factory made in. It's just sold to different markets under different names. Some of these colorways are different in those different yarns, or like between the brands. Some of them have like brand only colors, so you can't get all of these colors. I know this one in particular is available in all of the brands I just mentioned. Did you color control the rows on the blanket, or did you just change colors as they ran out? Yes and no. I do have these little bits and bobs that is from where I got to the end of the row and it felt like, okay, I only have this much left. There's no point in starting the next row with this little color to just change the color again very, very soon. Hello, David. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Do you have tea? So yeah, these are the little leftovers from where I ended up on corners. And this is how much I have left after the finishing round. And it felt like a yarn chicken round for me because I had no idea. So I did have more yarn left over than I expected, but this is all that's left of this yarn. There's also a very similar cake called Ferris wheel. Yes, Ferris wheel is very similar. I do agree. I've seen those. You love those colors. You think you have it in the melange. That's why it looks so familiar. You love variegated yarns. You like to make prayer shawls for donations with variegated yarns. Yes, that sounds like a good way to use them. For sure. So itty bitty pieces. So yes and no for the color control. So that's where we're at now. I need to figure out what blanket is next. The trio blanket is still put on hold. It's still too big and heavy for me to have it on my lap. So I can't work with it. I need to rest my foot for a bit longer before I can start using that. Oh, don't worry, David. I'm also needing to go in not too long. Mini-Me will be probably home in about, I don't know, around 40 minutes or something, maybe, possibly. The melange all sounds like theater names. The colorways. Jonathan, hello, good to see you. How are you doing today? Really nice to see you. So yeah, I need to, I think a blanket is what I'll be aiming for. As I said, I have done shawls in the past for just, you know, wrapping yourself in during or after chemo sessions and whatnot. So I think a blanket is probably what I think will be mostly used by this person. I don't see this person as a shawl person. I guess that's where I can see a blanket being the more reasonable option. You need to rebuild your donations project pile. You donated everything right before the storm came. Ooh. So you have space to fill. Good for you. So all this talking about sickness and disease and whatnot. Before we change subject, I'm just gonna say go check your melons, right? That's a good way of go check your melons, and now we can change subject. Yeah, I'm not really. It's not the easiest subjects to talk about, so we can definitely find more interesting things to talk about. Regular checkups, yes. Very needed. So what are your plans for today? I'll be getting Mini-Me home. I'll be feeding her, and then checking in the shower is good. kind of feel like there's a big risk of chicken nuggets today, even though I'm not in the mood for it. It's either that or maybe she's gonna ask for potatisbullar, which is very similar to your hash browns. I don't know, hash browns, is that more of a shredded or diced / chopped potato? Your opinion? You love the winter landscape and the moon / star gazing at night. Oh yes, that is also very nice. We talked about, and now the word escapes me. The word just ran out. I don't know. It left. The the word left. Northern Lights. Yes, we talked about Northern Lights here earlier. Definitely fits into that conversation. The stargazing. Hash browns are commonly shredded. Okay, so this is more of a finely chopped potato. You guys could guess it even though I didn't give you enough clues. Awesome. Aurora Borealis, that's the Latin name, isn't it? Yeah, so I have potatisbullar in the freezer. I just need to heat them up. Either in the air fryer or in the frying pan. They're just pre-cooked. Just need to heat them up with some lingonberry jam, and she will be happy. It would be nice if I had some crispy bacon with that, but I don't have any bacon at home because there's a lot of things I don't have at home. Oh well. You can't figure out how I'm crocheting corner to corner in a long rectangular. Well, you know how to do corner to corner, maybe? If you do it as a rectangular blanket, and this is just not as wide before I started to do the decreases on one side, and then I'm just continuing. So it is looking like this in the, well, in the beginning corner here. No, wait, maybe that makes more sense. I don't know. There's no right and wrong side. But for a corner to corner, let's get you guys down a little bit. We have the corner to corner, so it just increases on both sides until I got here, where I stopped doing the increases, and instead I am doing a decrease, just like you would if you'd make a square or rectangular blanket. It's just a lot more narrow on the one side that decides the widths of the scarf, and then I just continue. So I'm not starting to decrease yet to do to close it off. Or well, I'd start to decrease on that side to continue to square the other side or the other corner off. I just haven't done that yet because I need it to be longer. So at the moment we have this. I don't know exactly how long it is, but imagining this around a neck like this, it's not long enough to do a knot or anything yet, so we need to be longer. I don't know. I have to try it on her and see what type of, like, do we need a knot? Do we need to just fold it over? She's gonna have to test it. Corner to corner always confused you. Yeah, it didn't come that easy to me in the beginning to figure out how to do it. I've done a couple of corner to corner with like granny clusters. And then I don't know, I've done a few projects with moss stitch, and moss stitch just isn't, it really looks nice. So I did a scarf the exact same way for her dad, and she really likes that, so I'm doing it the same for her, just so that they can be matching, at least with the stitches. The colors are different. His is just 2 colored ones. But also I do have a hat that I've made for her, and she wanted me to match the hat in the colors a little bit. I think I might have more of the yarn, and yeah. So the hat that she wants to match this with is made out of this yarn. And she thought this was a good combo. I'm not saying it's not, but it probably wouldn't be my first pick of color combos. We do have some flex in some of these yarns being a bit tweedy. But yeah, we got some pinky, purpley bits, cream. And she said I'm not allowed to use white in this. I'd definitely say that white would be a good combo. Thrifty, good to see you. How are you doing today? So yeah, that's the hat she's wearing today at daycare, actually. And now we need to make a scarf. I do think I need to get this yarn out very soon though, because she did complain a little bit about the hat not covering her ears enough. So I can just extend it a little bit to cover her ears. You're surprised to see me this morning? Well, yeah, you never know with me. I never know with me. I'm not able to stay that much longer. Mini-Me will be coming home from daycare in a bit. But I'll be hanging out now because I can. Also, I will be here on the 4th of February. And I have no idea when I'm going to start, but it is my birthday. So my wish for my birthday is to hang out with my friends. As in, I'll be hanging out with you guys on my birthday. So 4th of February is the next time I know I will be live. Until then, I'm not sure. But yeah, at least you know that, so you can, I don't know. I don't know if you want to mark that in your calendar or just keep your eyes open. I think it's enough that you just keep your eyes open. Your granddaughter would love those colors? Are we talking about the yarn that I just showed or the scarf that I'm making? Or both, maybe. Pinks and purples. Yeah, it's not my go-to colors when it comes to what I wear. And I say that wearing a pink hoodie. I'm definitely more of like a blue, teal, purple, black type of person. Like the colors I picked for my temperature blanket, other than, you just chanced? If we're looking at the color for my temperature blanket here, I wouldn't really say that these are preferred colors, but all of the other colors are awesome, wearable ones. I do have pink stuff too, like, but I definitely do like these colors a lot. And like this dark purple as well. Not so much for the lighter colors, I'm definitely more of a darker color. time for me to fix my hair too. And you know, this is the colors I go for my hair. I do have some color at home, or dye, so I need to fix my hair soon because it's looking very dull. You like Barbie hot pink? Purple is your favorite in all the jewel tones. Yeah, those are bright and dark. I bet, well, maybe not. This is bubble gum. This is a hot pink. It might look more red than hot pink, but it is a very, very bright hot pink. Definitely screams Barbie to me. Very bubble gummy. That is the hottest color for the hottest days of the summer. So let's see if we get to see some of that color in, I would say, July and August mainly. Big chance of that color in my temperature blanket. I just came to realize something. I shared a pattern a little bit ago. The pattern, the melt the ice hat. There was something else that kind of, I can't say it bothered me, but it kind of did in a way. I know that there's like a protest thing going on, that we're making red hats in protest of things, right? I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that this is a paid for pattern. I'm not sure where the money is going to, if it, like, probably just the designer. I did not see anything about it being put towards anything else, like protest related. So I do feel a little bad about someone profiting in that way of, like, we're protesting, or they are protesting, but someone is profiting in a way that just, I don't know. I guess that's everyone's choice, but I think it wouldn't feel as weird if it had been just a free pattern that everyone could use to make that hat to then protest. Okay, so there is something with the proceeds that goes to people that gets arrested. Okay, because I couldn't find any information about that, and that made me feel a little bit That at least makes it feel a little bit better, but I hope you understand what I meant with that. Oh yes, that is true. There's a million hat patterns out there that you could just do a red hat. That is very true. Hello, Sunflower. Good to see you. How are you doing today? You didn't know about the red hats? Yeah, there's a hat pattern on Ravelry called Melt the Ice. That is the thing everyone is crocheting to kind of protest. You have a great day at work, Sunflower. I'm gonna wrap it up here soon. Minimi is coming home in a bit. But you can always watch the replay. The designer didn't promote it well. And there are many free patterns if people want to make one. Exactly. There is. So yeah, you don't need to make that specifically. I just think, well, just look at it. I didn't know about the other stuff and not promoted well how the money is going to be spent. I was a bit, I don't know. So many yarn ends. No, it's not that bad yarn ends. I just didn't sew them in as I have been working on this, like I have done on, well, on the temperature blanket and on this one. I have been very good at tucking in ends as I have worked on it. So I am proud of myself. I probably should have done the same with this one. This is just, I guess I started working on this sitting on the couch. And I did have a scissor so I could cut the yarn, but I didn't have my needles or anything. So I guess that's why I didn't start with dealing with the yarn ends earlier. But yeah, it's not going to take that much to... it's going to be pretty fast to tuck in the ends on this one. Wearing a red crochet or knit hat does not change anything. No, that is true. It doesn't change anything. I agree. It shows solidarity. But yeah, it doesn't change anything. More needs to happen than just crocheting a hat. It does spread the word though. More people do get aware. As I said, I am not even close. I'm in Sweden. I am not, like, I don't know what's going on that much. Like, I know that there's stuff going down. I know, I'm aware of that much. You know, we do hear a lot in the news, but I don't know details. I don't, I'm not as informed on specifics. And I don't know how late I am to the party of this hat pattern. It just was shared with me yesterday. And I did see today fellow crocheters that has come, you know, done a few hats already. So people have had time to make some. So it's definitely not a new thing. You heard it about a week ago. Well, you said you were running out of red yarn, so you must have had a few days at least. Sandrine, the Mosaic Queen. Hello, hello. How are you doing? What type of mosaic stuff are you working on today? What's on your hook? Or is it too early? I do like that rhyme. Sandrine, the Mosaic Queen. It has a nice ring to it. too early and you might not crochet today because it's your birthday. Well, congratulations. You might not crochet. Do you have some fun birthday plans that might take you away from crochet time? I hope it's at something fun at least. My birthday is on the 4th of February and I will be hanging out here and doing a birthday stream. Hanging out with my friends on my birthday is what I'm in the mood for this year, so that's my plan for my birthday. A lot of happy birthday wishes. Awesome. Sitting here looking at what time it is. I was like, any minute I'll get a message saying that Mini-Me's on the way home. Why am I stressing? She'll be here when she gets here. And I'll have plenty of time to wrap things up. But I know she was going to be picked up a little bit earlier today. Because that's just what it is. And I'm just happy that I get help getting her back and forth to daycare. So just don't feel like I want the surprise of her just walking in through the door and being like, hey, I'm home. It's like, yeah, no, I'm streaming. I don't think I have to worry. But I need to keep an eye on things. Got a lot of people here today. Maybe I should remind you guys, if you haven't already given me a thumbs up, I would appreciate one. Daycare. Yeah, she's got daycare between 8:30 and 4 during my weeks, and she's got a different schedule when she's with her dad. It has been dependent on his work hours or his work schedule. But it's great for her to hang out with other kids and get some energy out of those legs. They are out playing in the snow pretty much all day, so that's awesome. Untwist yourself. Thank you very much. But yeah, when she's in school, she starts, well, we call it preschool here in this fall, so it's gonna be a bit different. She's gonna have earlier starts in the mornings. Socializing and playing and learning is a lot of fun. It is, and she's learning like I don't even know. She is teaching herself English all by herself, pretty much just from watching TV. We're not using English at home. They don't use English at daycare. It's just from the TV. There's a lot of English cartoons and stuff, and she is just improving. At one point, I was like, yeah, we can wait with the English, but now I'm like, yeah, no, it's too late. When I grew up, my parents used to use English to talk to each other when they didn't want the kids to understand. Like, we figured out pretty fast, like, what is ice cream or candy. Those were words that was easy to, like, figure out. But that was a common thing when I grew up, that parents used English to communicate when they didn't want to, like, talk in front of the kids, but they still needed to talk in front of the kids about, you know, just very often candy, desserts, that type of thing. But we can't do that with her because she is fully aware of what candy is, of what ice cream means. She's known that for quite some time. And it's really fun how she often incorporates Swedish words, but she, like, pronounces them Englishly in her sentences. So I can help her correct, because it's words that she doesn't know the word, so she says it the Swedish word, but she kind of thinks, oh, maybe this is what it is in English. Make it sound English, even though it's Swedish. So I just give her the right word for it, and she just repeats the sentence, and this is way more happy about the new sentence with the new word. And yeah, it's amazing to see that. Your parents tried to do that with German, you learned, but your sister did not. Okay, you guys, it's been awesome. I've seen so many people today. Like, there's so many of you that I have missed for quite some time. I'll be back here the 4th of February. I might be here before that, but I don't have any planned streams between then and, well, now and then. There should be possibilities. Just hope I can take advantage of those opportunities if they arise. But if not, I hope to see you back here on the 4th for a little birthday stream. I need to figure out a new blanket to make, new pattern, new yarn. Temperature blanket is gonna be continued to be worked on. There's more overlap in the originally expected between English and Swedish. Go look at Old English and Old Swedish, like from way back when. There's so much that is the same. You can thank the Vikings for that. Maybe not. Yeah. They were maybe more brute than talking, but hey. I really appreciate hanging out with you guys. And I hope to see you guys soon again. So have a great rest of your day. Go and cuddle some yarn. Thank you so much. And bye-bye.